Hi, it's Maria here. I often get asked what is the main thing, if you could only teach people one thing, what would it be to make them happy in relationships? And my answer to that is know what your values are, what your personal values are. So once you know what your own personal values are, you can obviously set boundaries really well. You know what works for you, what doesn't work for you. When you know what your values are and you honor them, you can say to people when something really doesn't work for you and when something does. We tend to be a lot more honest and open when we know what our values are because we have very little to hide. We are so transparent with what is important to ourselves and what is not. And also when we get to know what our values are, we stop apologizing for things. For example, somebody asks you to go out or go and do something that you don't feel like doing, instead of saying no I can't, and then they ask, well, why not, and then you give them some kind of an excuse. You just say, well, just don't feel like it. And they know it's not an insult towards the other person because they know what your values are, because you've been very transparent about what your own personal values are. So by knowing your own personal values, people learn to appreciate you for who you are. There's very little confusion about who you are, and you're actually doing people a big favor because you're very clear and very honest and straightforward about who you are and what works for you, what doesn't work for you. And when people know that, they are able to honor those values. Most conflicts actually arise in relationships because we don't quite know what the other person's values are, so we can't honor them. So we keep unintentionally insulting or being horrible towards the other person. And it's not that we're trying to do that, or that, because obviously we're in a relationship to begin with to try and have a great time. But when we don't know what the other person's values are and we're not clear on our own, there seems to be a lot of miscommunication about various different things. So in order to have healthy relationships, you need to know who you are. So find out what your own values are. If you're not sure how to do that, there's plenty of really good programs out there. Certainly with the Radiant Woman work, with the Radiant Women's International Club, as well as the Radiant Woman Workshop, Weekend Workshop, are good tools. And also one of the great programs that is out there at the moment is Genuine University. So check those out, and check them out, don't check them out, whatever, but empower yourself, know what your values are, and live happily ever after. See ya.